Well, let's fix that right now, because it is not illegal to be undocumented. It is not a crime to be undocumented.
Although these garden tools are saying it's not a crime, it's not a crime, it's not a crime. But if you're in this country illegally, you are to be deported. So you had to go to jail. You had to be prosecuted for a crime, but you got to get up out of here. This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com. Ladies and gentlemen, I got some incredible news I want to share with you. The Tatum Store is always innovating, and the biggest thing that you're going to love is the shipping. We have negotiated an incredible deal where our shipping is now lowered to $9.99 for 2-day shipping. That means any shipment that go out is going to be guaranteed 2 days, and it's only $9.99. That's like a 20% decrease from where we originally had the shipping, and thanks to our people from doing some good negotiation with FedEx. All right, so let's move on to the other thing. $65 is the threshold. See, over $65 we get free shipping. So over $65 get free shipping. It used to be $120. So $65 free shipping. I think you guys are gonna enjoy that incredibly. The hat that I have on, the American hat and the Blessed hat, are all new hats, and also my Pride flag, which is my favorite item on here, to be quite honest. My Pride flag is now available, and only for the people on YouTube, we'll give you 20 or 25% off. We'll put the code in the description section. Also, Father's Day, get your stuff. The Father's Day whiskey glass sold out, gone. Y'all loved it so much it was gone, and we had a ton of them. I can't even believe it sold out that quick. But anyway, here's some other Father's Day items that you can get on Father's Day or even after Father's Day. I think your dad will appreciate the merchandise. So go to TatumStore.com right now and get your merch today. Let's go to, what else are we talking about? Was The View talking about this? Let's go to the cackling hens on The View, or I call them hamburger heifers. Look at that one. Look at that one, bro. What a wasted face. I always call her a wasted face because she kind of pretty. She little, so she kind of lose point because she like 4 foot nothing. But she do got a cute little face, and it's a waste. Too bad that brain don't match that face. Roll the clip.
So counterproductive to the very cause that you're advocating for.
Well, and it feeds into what he wanted to do. What he wants to do is he wants to create a scene. He wants to say, I was justified in sending in the National Guard because look at how violent these protesters are, which they were not until this was exacerbated. But I think he has a strategy here. He is losing support in every area. Inflation, the economy, tariffs, foreign policy. His ratings are dropping
even
like rocks. But there's one category
under 30%.
Let me stop this hamburger heifer. If he's losing support in every area, why would people support him doing this? Because this is a very drastic measure, right? From what they talking about, this is a bad look for him, right? He exacerbated the situation, right? Why would, if he got so little support, why would he do something to lose more support in California? Why would he do it? These people are so disingenuous. Donald Trump is not losing support. It's a few dummies that's like, yeah, Trump. It's like, for the most people, we're like, look, man, it's the best we have. And I think the guy's acting in good faith, and I think he's trying to do the right thing. Yeah, he do some stuff here and there that I don't like, but overall, Donald Trump is doing his thing. You think Kamala Harris is going to do better? No, we seen him in the Middle East. Like, we're not like, we don't have tunnel vision. People who hate Trump and have Trump derangement, they have tunnel vision. They're like, Donald Trump did this wrong. That's the totality of his existence. Is one thing that he made a mistake on. One thing that he didn't fulfill at 100% of what he said. We see the big picture. We see the effort in shutting down the border. We see the effort in deporting all these people that should not be in our country, that are committing crimes, felonies, rape, you name it. They doing it all. We see him trying to do something right with getting us fair trade agreements across the world. We see him go to the Middle East and they offering them jets and doing all this other stuff for our country because he's over there making deals. We see it. Trillions of dollars of investment in the United States of America from all kinds of countries. We see all of it. And we also can look on the TV and say, Gavin Newsom, what are y'all doing? Boy, they acting crazy in California. The world is watching this. And then the president says he's going to employ the National Guard, and all of a sudden y'all blame everything on him. The National Guard hadn't even been deployed when all of this stuff got crazy. What are y'all talking about? They throwing bricks and stuff at federal agents driving down the street. They're bludgeoning local police officers. Have nothing to do with federal agents or the National Guard. They ramping it up on local cops. Oh, you're saying the fact that these left-wingers who don't even listen to Donald Trump somehow heard through the grapevine he doing the National Guard, and they amped it up. Shut up, man. Shut the front door. Roll the clip.
Current support right now, though, is that 66% of the American public actually thinks it is crime enough to be undocumented. And therefore deported.
That it's criminal to be undocumented?
Yes, it is not. You know how the disagreement was in the beginning? We were told it was going to be violent criminals, and I think everyone at this table would agree. Yeah. Haul out violent criminals, fine. But a very important distinction was 60% of the American public, 2/3 of independents, 90% of Republicans, and just a little under half of Democrats think the crime is in being undocumented.
Even if it's a civil offense.
Yes.
Yeah,
so what I'm
true.
saying is a massive amount of this country actually agrees with not how he's doing it, but with what he's doing.
So there's
I think the strategy here is he's leaning into a scene right now, creating a bigger thing, because it is the one thing that he remains.
Do y'all think, I want y'all to comment in the comment section, write a survey. Do y'all think he leaning into something, or the man just doing his job? He's doing what these people are so disingenuous, it's crazy to me. He's doing what the American people asked him to do. This broad just said 90% of Republicans, 2/3 of independents, and over half of Democrats say that they want people to be deported. So when they're deporting people, like most Americans want them to do, and you got people in California trying to kill the agents who are doing it, how is he wrong? The people want him to do this. It's crazy to me. It's like these women are like a toxic baby mama. It don't have to be a baby mama, because some of y'all don't have baby kids with these women, they toxic. It's like a toxic woman, an ex, who lived their whole life just gaslighting. You're like, bro, 2 + 2 is 4. That's not what you said last week. What do you mean? Why you want to argue with me? It's the same thing with these people. It's like the American people want them to be deported. The ICE agents are doing what they said they're going to do. Donald Trump got elected, and they're doing what he got elected to do. Y'all see that they're bludgeoning ICE agents and trying to kill people while they're doing their job. Oh, but Donald Trump is the problem now. Come on. You're trying to keep me away from my kids, and then when I go off on you, I'm the problem. That's crazy. Roll the clip.
Well, let's fix that right now, because it is not illegal to be undocumented. It is not a crime to be undocumented.
But what they're saying is the problem is that they
no,
are.
but I'm saying we need to put that information out there. It is a civil infraction.
Yeah, and I don't think
criminal.
it's actually broadly a misunderstanding. I think that 60% of Americans believe it's a civil offense, and that if you come here and you're undocumented, that you should be deported.
But he's actually lost some points on the way he's handling immigration, not the border.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of Americans voted for him on immigration, thinking he was going to deport gang members and criminals. And he is deporting our friends, our neighbors, mothers, fathers, people working hard to make America actually function. And this is not what I think a lot of people voted for.
All right, let's kind of debunk this thing real quick. I want you. I want to debunk this illegal thing. They're so dang fake and disingenuous. It's crazy to me. I'm finna debunk it real quick. Give me a second. All right, let's go through this real quick, because I want to call them garden tools, but I'm not. These women are literally conflating the idea of unlawfully being in this country as not being a criminal offense. If every single person, right, was somehow an asylum-seeking person, they have a court date. Therefore, they don't have documentation. That's not illegal. If they miss their court date, that's not a criminal offense, right? Because they haven't been adjudicated. There hasn't been a decision on their asylum claim. However, that's if every single human being that was in this country did it like that, right? But there are other cases of illegals in this country that are criminal. Let me give you an example. Re-entry after being deported is a felony. Okay, using fraudulent documentation or identity theft to gain entry or employment is illegal. Smuggling or harboring undocumented individuals, illegal. Falsely claiming U.S. citizenship, illegal. There are plenty of people that are in this country undocumented that are doing these very things. How are they saying? They're trying to act like everybody's just here on a kumbaya. If you are illegally in this country and you do not have a work visa, how do you work on a job? You're not supposed to be hired if you're an illegal alien in this country. I cannot hire a person without a work permit if they're illegally in America or they're not a U.S. citizen. So then what are all these people doing that you claim are working? They're lying about their status. Okay. And let's go through the civil violation that they're referring to. Unlawful presence or overstaying a visa or entering without inspection is typically handled through civil immigration proceedings, not a criminal court. Penalties including deportation or being barred from re-entry for a period of time. Think about this for a minute. Although these garden tools are saying it's not a crime, it's not a crime, it's not a crime, but if you're in this country illegally, you are to be deported. When you violate that, you are to be deported. You don't have to commit a crime to be deported. Right here it says penalties include deportation. So although they're trying to say it's civil, it's not criminal. Well, not every situation is the same. There's a lot of the stuff that they're doing that are criminal. Because if you're a person that's illegal in this country and you are somehow harboring other illegals, which means that you are living with them and you're not turning them in and you're evading them getting captured, you know they're supposed to go to court, but you're making sure that they don't get caught. You're trying to make them hide through the scenes and driving cars like this and taking them and dodging all this stuff. You are harboring an illegal alien, even if you are illegal. If you somehow are an undocumented person in this country, overstayed a visa, you get your illegal family in your house and you know they're illegal, and you keeping them somewhere to stay, getting them jobs, you're harboring an illegal alien. That's a felony charge. But they try to act like because just overstaying visas and things like that are not necessarily handled in criminal court, that somehow you can't even be deported. That's a lie. If you are in this country illegally, whether you overstayed a visa, whether you never had a visa, whether you lied about your entry, a penalty of that is deportation. So you had to go to jail. You had to be prosecuted for a crime, but you got to get up out of here. Okay, there's area statute that go along with some of this stuff. And I can go down the list of it. I don't want to bore you with it, but let's just give one. It says, and I looked this up on ChatGPT to give me a quick summary. It said, is it a crime to enter or remain illegally, strictly, border enforcement views? It says legal basis, 8 U.S. Code 1325, makes it a misdemeanor to enter the U.S. without inspection. First offense, misdemeanor. Repeat offense, felony. Fraud, false documents, obviously I talk about identity theft, used to stay or work leads to criminal prosecution. The argument, this view asserts that crossing the border unlawfully or overstaying a visa is a deliberate violation of the U.S. sovereignty and should be met with criminal accountability. Many point out that illegal entry is codified as a crime and allowed unchecked violations undermine the rule of law. So let me say this. I'm looking at the statute right here. Maybe I was slightly incorrect. I think that based on what I'm reading, it is a crime. They are just diverting it to civil court because right here in 8 U.S. Code 1325, and this is what Tom Homan said. I don't know why I forgot he said this. It says that it makes it a misdemeanor to enter the U.S. without inspection. That means crossing the border illegally. That's a misdemeanor charge. The first offense is a misdemeanor, according to 8 U.S. Code 1326 or 25. And then to repeat that would be code subsection 26, 1326. Repeat offense is a felony. So technically, bring the dog face pony soldiers back on the screen. Technically, and I stand corrected because I think about a lot of stuff and sometimes I miss things. I stand corrected in my own statement. It is a crime, a misdemeanor crime to illegally enter into the United States of America. They just decide to use it, or they just decide to go down the civil route. And that's probably because they can't do 20 million criminal proceedings. So, hey, next time you hear a dirty hamburger heifer, whether it's your family members or not, say, it's not a crime, it's not a crime, go to 8 U.S. Code 1325. It's a misdemeanor to enter the U.S. without inspection, i.e. crossing the border illegally. Okay. Roll the clip.
Brad, what are you thinking?
Well, we got to this moment because California has a sanctuary policy. The state law forbids local law enforcement from cooperating with, or local government from cooperating with immigration enforcement. We have immigration laws that govern the entire land, and California is willfully ignoring them. California's left-wing politicians set this up. If California had long been cooperating and helping enforce immigration laws all along the way, this would not be.
It's not the whole state. You do know that some of this is jurisdictions. There are certain towns that do. Yeah, but there are certain towns that absolutely have cooperated with federal authorities.
Shouldn't they all?
You know, this is part of the issue that is always interesting here is when Republicans want to talk about states' rights. It's about states' rights when it is something that they're interested in, and not when it is something that perhaps Democrats and their states are interested in. And so I think...
But we've all agreed on what immigration laws are.
Well,
There's not a state
We're going to talk about this more in the hour. I want to bring in Steve.
See, they want to cut the man off. I think y'all got what he said. This is a Democrat talking point. I want y'all to understand this. We could probably make a collage about it. Their talking point is, what about states' rights? Are y'all really making a states' rights claim? Because that sounds like what got Goldwater in trouble when he was running for president. And y'all claim he was a racist because he said that it should not be, the federal government should not interfere in states' rights when it comes to civil rights claims, when it comes to whether or not white people and black people want to be next to each other on a bus. That's not the federal government's job. And y'all called him a racist. So now y'all want to push states' rights. When y'all mad that Roe v. Wade was overturned, y'all think it's a crime for states to have the right to make that decision, not the federal government. But now y'all's talking point is that, states' rights. So you think that the state of California should have the right to violate federal law. Okay, then what other states have the right to violate federal law? Since you think California deserves to let illegal aliens do whatever they want to do, then if the state of Texas says that gay people can't do X, Y, Z, are you okay with that? Because there is states' rights, by the way, right? Come on, say what you got to say. It is a federal law that we agreed to as a government entity, both House and Senate and the presidency. I mean, the whole government functions like this, but the House and Senate passed a law, subsection what I just read, that says that it's illegal to do X, Y, Z. And you're saying that when it's expedient for you, the Democrat, that California can violate federal law in its own interests against what the American people have voted for. Come on, bro. That's crazy. Because then, therefore, if some of the civil rights laws that have been passed through Congress, you think that the state has a right to violate civil rights laws, which is federal laws. Okay, then y'all stupid. And y'all are hypocrites. Because keep that same states' rights energy when it comes to Roe v. Wade, when it comes to civil rights, when it comes to all this other stuff. When it comes to Barry Goldwater, they don't believe that stuff, man. It's a talking point. I put my life on it. You're going to hear every single person on TV say, well, Republicans talk about states' rights. What are you talking about? This is a law that's already on the books. This is not us negotiating and having to go to the Supreme Court to interpret a law. We already decided that this was a law according to the United States of American government that oversees federal jurisdiction. Okay.